Hi, I'm Zach, and this is Challenger Vedic Astrology and Tarot. Welcome to the channel. Alright, today we're talking about the eclipses taking place in September. And if you like this video, and you want to see more great content like it, be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out me and the channel. To be notified whenever I release a new video, be sure to hit the bell icon and select all. And if you'd like a Vedic Sidereal birth chart, a personal tarot reading, or an astrology consultation, links to those will be in the description box and the comments below. And if you'd like to donate to help support the channel, the links to those will be in the description box as well. Alright, so we're talking about the eclipses in September. So there's going to be an eclipse taking place in Aquarius, the lunar eclipse. This will be September 7th. And September 21st, we will have the solar eclipse taking place in Virgo. Now, the reason for this, despite, Rahu and Ketu causing the eclipse, what's being eclipsed is sun and moon. So their placement is what's important. And at the time of the eclipse, they will be in Virgo. Okay. But these are your Vedic sidereal placements, not your Western tropical. Make sure that you're going off of your Vedic sidereal placements. If you don't know them, you can get a birth chart from my website, and you'll find them there. But we read these transits from the Ascendant, your overall path in life, from the Moon. Moon is your thoughts, your emotions, your mind. It's how you think and feel about your reality. And from the sun. Sun is your soul. It's what your soul is experiencing in this life. So, these 3 points, you look from the 3 of them, and you combine them even. Which we don't do in these videos, because this is on a personal reading. Otherwise, I would have to make like 50 different transit videos that are an hour long each. Okay. But, yeah. So, the lunar eclipse taking place in Aquarius is actually going to be the most significant one. Now, why? Well, because it's the one where there's more going on. Not only is Saturn retrograde in Pisces, acting like it's in Aquarius. So now the Lord of the sign is acting like it's there. It's not being eclipsed because it's not actually conjunct in Aquarius physically. But it is still impacting Aquarius. And Jupiter is also aspecting. So the eclipse in Aquarius is actually going to be the bigger deal here. And it's going to lean more positive because the Lord of the sign is acting like it's there, Saturn. And Jupiter, a benefic, is also aspecting. So this is going to be more on the positive side. Okay. As for the solar eclipse taking place in Virgo, well, this is going to have Mercury joining it. So, Mercury is the Lord of Virgo. So this is also positive, but it's not as positive because Jupiter's not aspecting. Jupiter was the big deal with Aquarius. Okay. But we are going to jump into this. We're going to start with Aries, like always. Alright, Aries. So, for you, Aries, let's talk about the lunar eclipse. Well, the lunar eclipse will be taking place first, and it's going to be in the sign of Aquarius. So, Aquarius is your 11th house. 11th house is your elder siblings, your paternal aunts and uncles. It's your friends, your network circle, large organizations, large gatherings, parties. It's your hopes, wishes, and desires. And it's stock market and gains. But 11th house is also 6th from the 6th. Higher form of health issues. It's the greatest enemy you will face in this life. the greatest conflict you will have, the biggest debt. It's also 12th from the 12th, so it's also the greatest loss you will face in this life. And the height of spirituality. So, with this, Saturn is retrograde. Now, when a planet is retrograde, outside of Mercury, in transit, it behaves like it's in the previous house. So, Saturn is behaving like it's in Aquarius. It's not physically there, so it's not being eclipsed. But the Lord is still acting like it's in its own house, because Saturn is the Lord of Aquarius. So this protects the house. On top of this, you also have Jupiter, a benefic planet, aspecting this eclipse. And to add to this, Jupiter, Rahu, and Jupiter and Rahu at the time of the eclipse will be in the same degree. So this is going to be very significant. Okay. But with this, we see at the time of the lunar eclipse, there can be a major change, especially mentally and emotionally, because it's your mind, your emotions, the moon that is being eclipsed here. So there could be something very emotional, very significant that takes place tied to the areas of life, tied to the 11th house. There could be something significant going on with an elder sibling, with your paternal aunts and uncles, with your friends. You could gain a lot of money during this time. A desire of yours could be fulfilled. During this time, there can also be something that happens tied to work, because Saturn is being involved, and Saturn is the planet of career. Also, Saturn is your 10th and 11th lord involved here. So definitely career, status, recognition, these can come into play as well. But, once again, Saturn's not being eclipsed. So that's just adding flavor to this eclipse. There can also be a major health issue that you overcome during this time. There could be a major enemy that you defeat. You could also overcome losses during this time as well. Okay. But overall, this lunar eclipse, like I said, is going to be very positive. Alright. Now, let's look at the solar eclipse for you. So, solar eclipse is going to be taking place in Virgo, your 6th house. Well, 6th house is maternal aunts and uncles. It's your everyday work, everyday routines. It's pets, it's coworkers, it's enemies, it's debt, it's competition, conflict, legal disputes, it's health issues and accidents. So, with this, Sun and Moon are together, of course, because it's a solar eclipse, but Mercury is being involved. And Mercury is the lord of this sign. So once again, this is going to lean more positive because the Lord is protecting its house. And Mercury is your 3rd and 6th lord being involved here. So, with this, definitely we see there can be a big change with a maternal aunt or uncle. You could get a pet during this time, or there could be something significant with a pet. Now, once again, this will lean positive, so even if you have a pet that, say, has a health issue, pet could overcome that health issue. Also, there could be something very significant with your work that takes place. You could defeat an enemy, overcome a debt, or take on new debt even. But if that's the case, then it would be for the best. That would go well for you. Okay. But whatever it is, it's going to require effort, because the 3rd lord is involved here. They're going to have to put in effort. Put in effort into your work. Effort into overcoming those health issues. But once again, that would go well, especially with Jupiter in the 3rd house, expanding those efforts that you put forth. Okay, that's what I have for you though, Aries. Moving on to Taurus. Alright, Taurus. So, let's talk about the lunar eclipse first. The lunar eclipse is taking place in Aquarius, your 10th house. Well, 10th house is career. It's your status, your fame, your reputation. It's your workplace, your managers, and your bosses. It's the highest house of karma. It's your karmic actions that the world notices. So even if you're out of work or retired, 10th house still matters. And with this, we see Saturn, the lord of the 10th house, is retrograde, exerting its influence in the 10th house, in Aquarius. So, the Lord is protecting its house, but the Lord is not being eclipsed. This is very positive. And, to top this off, Jupiter is aspecting from the 2nd house. So, with this, Saturn is your 9th and 10th lord getting involved here. Now, the lordship of Sun and Moon during eclipses aren't very significant because they are always eclipsed once a year, pretty much. Now, with this, though, we see a major change can take place in your career, and it would be for the positive. There could be a change in your workplace. There can be a change when it comes to your status in life, your reputation. You may have to travel for work because the 9th lord is getting involved, Saturn. You may get education for your work as well because 9th house is also tied to education. But once again, this would go well for you. Maybe that's what would cause you to do better in your career. Maybe you get promoted because of that. Whatever karma you have to perform, Saturn is helping you with that. So is Jupiter. But Moon here being eclipsed. A lunar eclipse is when mind and emotions are being eclipsed. So this is going to make you emotional. This is going to be something that you've really wanted. You've really thought about a lot. Okay. So, that's the lunar eclipse. Now let's talk about the solar eclipse. So, the solar eclipse will be taking place in Virgo. Well, Virgo is your 5th house. 5th house is romance, fun and games, children, students, subordinates. It's creativity, arts and sports. It's education. It's politics. It's 8th from the 10th house. Sudden change and transformation of your career is the 5th house. 5th house is speculative gains through stock market, through gambling, through business. So, with this, we see Mercury is sitting here. Mercury isn't always a part of the eclipse, so Mercury has to be factored in. Mercury is the 2nd and 5th lord for you, and is the lord of its own house once again. So, even though Jupiter isn't aspecting, there's still that benefic influence with the Lord in the house or affecting the house. So with this, we see things will go well in your education during this time. Things will go well if you're trying to have children. Of course, your birth chart has to be seen if you actually would have children. That isn't something that can be told in a generic reading like this. And dashas are the most important thing. A good astrologer always looks at dashas first. Dashas being planetary or sign-based time periods. Okay, but we also see speculative gains could come in through business, through stock market, through gambling. Now, of course, whether or not you have, placements to win the lottery or something, once again, has to be looked at in a personal reading. Things for your children, if you already have children, will go well during this time, especially when it concerns their health. That looks very good during this time. You could have a lot of fun with this solar eclipse taking place. A new romance could begin as well. Okay, that's what I have for you, Taurus. Moving on to Gemini. Alright, Gemini. So, for you, the lunar eclipse will be taking place in Aquarius, your 9th house. Well, 9th house is father figures, your mentors, teachers, gurus. It's religion, philosophy, the law. It's long distance travel, pilgrimage, publishing. It's higher education beyond a bachelor's degree and outside of typical schooling. It's counseling. 9th house is your ancestral lineage. Not just father, but also mother's lineage as well. 9th house is luck and fortune. So, with this lunar eclipse taking place here, we see Saturn is retrograde, getting involved. Now, it's not physically going to be there, so it's not being eclipsed itself, but the Lord is acting like it's in its house. So, 9th Lord in the 9th house. This is a very positive thing. Saturn is your 9th and 8th Lord, getting involved here, protecting its own house. And we see Jupiter is also aspecting. Jupiter, the great benefic. So we see this will be mostly very positive. Now, with this being a lunar eclipse is something that, the mind is being eclipsed. Mind and emotions, the moon is being eclipsed. So you will be emotional regarding this. Now, with this being the 9th house, we see that there can be something that happens with your father. Now, this would lean more positive, though, because Saturn, the Lord of the house, and Jupiter are involved here. There could be a sudden change with your father. Maybe your father needed a surgery because of that 8th Lord being involved. But that surgery would improve his health. There can be a sudden change with your education, and it would be for the better. You could go on a sudden trip, sudden travels to far off places. There could be a transformation of your education that really benefits you. Also, you may have to travel or get education for your career. Now, why am I saying that? Well, Saturn is being involved here. Saturn is the planet of career, even though it doesn't rule a house tied to career. So, travel on behalf of your career or education tied to career can take place as well. You'll feel more lucky during this lunar eclipse. It's like things are finally going right. Things for your ancestral lineage, your parents, your family, could be better during this lunar eclipse. If you're wanting to publish something, you can finally do that. Okay. Now, let's talk about the solar eclipse. So, the solar eclipse will be taking place in Virgo, your 4th house. Well, 4th house is mother figures. It's home, land, real estate. It's vehicles. It's your comfort and your happiness. And we see Mercury is getting involved here. Mercury isn't always a part of a solar eclipse. So, Mercury has to be considered here. Mercury is the 1st and 4th Lord. So Mercury is the 4th Lord in the 4th house during this eclipse. This is very positive. Now, it's not going to be as positive as the Aquarius eclipse, but it's still going to be good. Now, with this, we see there can be a very significant change when it comes to your mother, when it comes to your home, your living situation, when it comes to your car, when it comes to your comfort and happiness. So, examples of this. You could renovate your home. You could buy a home, sell a home, buy a property, sell a property. You could get a new car. You can get your car repaired if it's been in disrepair for a while. You can get a new car. Your mother's health could improve. Your relationship with your mother could improve. But you will have more comfort and happiness with the solar eclipse taking place. So once again, very positive. Alright, that's what I have for you though, Gemini. Moving on to Cancer. Okay, Cancer. So, for you, the lunar eclipse will be taking place in Aquarius, your 8th house. Well, 8th house is sex. It's death, wills, inheritance, estates, legacies. It's your in-laws. It's joint finances and relationships and in business. It's other people's money. It's the occult. It's psychological baggage. It's surgeries. It's sun ups and downs and transformation. And with this being a lunar eclipse is when moon is being eclipsed. Moon is your mind and your emotions. So, you will be emotional with this eclipse. But this eclipse is more positive than most. Why? It's because Saturn is retrograde. So Saturn, the lord of the 8th house and the 7th house, is now acting like it's in its own house. Saturn's not being eclipsed, but Saturn is still getting involved. Saturn is still protecting its house. So, this is a very positive thing, especially with Jupiter aspecting from the 12th house. So, this eclipse leans more positive than most. Now, with this, what are some things you can expect? Well, there can be a transformation that takes place in your life that is very significant. Your relationship with your in-laws could change for the better. Joint finances could improve. You can start making more money through your business. You can finally deal with that psychological baggage and overcome it. You can get a surgery you've been needing. You could learn more about the occult. You could receive an inheritance that may have been delayed. There can be a transformation of your career. Why? Because Saturn is getting involved. Saturn is the planet of career, even though it doesn't rule your 10th house or your 6th house of work. Saturn is still career. So, there can be a big transformation of your career here. And this would lean more positive, like I said. Okay, now let's talk about the solar eclipse. So, the solar eclipse will be taking place in Virgo. And Virgo is your 3rd house. Well, 3rd house is your younger siblings, your cousins, your neighbors. It's media, social media, the internet. It's communication of all kinds, including writing. It's marketing and sales. It's your skills. It's short distance travel, but it can even be foreign travel, because 12th from the 4th. It's a house of effort. It's 8th from the 8th. Higher form of sun ups and downs and transformation. Transformation through self-effort is the 3rd house. Also, 8th from the 8th. 3rd house is the greatest psychological baggage you will face in this life. So, with this, we see, first off, Mercury is getting involved. Mercury is not always a part of a solar eclipse. So, Mercury is very important here. Mercury is your 12th and 3rd lord. In the 3rd house. So, Lord is in its own house protecting it. So, we see, this is going to be positive. Not as positive as the lunar eclipse in Aquarius, but still positive. Okay. So, with this, we see there could be major changes with your younger siblings. Younger siblings could overcome health issues. Your relationship with them could improve. Same thing with your cousins, even with your neighbors. You can learn new skills during this time. You could travel. The effort you've been needing to put forth, you will now be able to do that. If you're involved in marketing, sales, media, this is also a great eclipse for you. Also, 3rd house is arts and sports. If you're involved in either, this will be good for you as well. You'll feel more artistic. You'll be more athletic than usual. Okay. That's what I have for you though, Cancer. Moving on to Leo. Alright, Leo. So, for you, Leo, the lunar eclipse will be taking place in Aquarius, your 7th house. So, 7th house is relationships, marriage, business partnership. It's the masses, all the people you meet out in the world. It's 4th from the 4th, higher form of your comfort and happiness. It's 10th from the 10th, higher form of your career, your status, your fame. And highest house of karma. Even higher than the 10th house. That's why some people find marriage so difficult. It's also directly opposite from where you were born. So it represents foreign lands as well. So, with this lunar eclipse, first off, lunar eclipse is when the mind and emotions, the moon, is being eclipsed. So you will be emotional, tied to the 7th house. And we see Saturn is retrograde in Pisces, your 8th house, behaving like it's in Aquarius, your 7th house. And Saturn is your 6th and 7th lord. Now, this is actually positive because Saturn is the lord of the house. So Saturn is protecting its own house, even though it's not physically there, so it's not being eclipsed. This makes it even more positive. Now, Jupiter is also aspecting the great benefic. So, this is a very positive eclipse. Now with this, what can we see? Well, if you were having any conflict in a relationship, in a marriage, we see that would improve. Now, improve does not mean this will necessarily go away. But what it does mean, let's say you were trying to get a divorce. Doesn't mean you won't necessarily get divorced, but maybe your divorce finally gets finalized. Finally goes through. And maybe that is a positive thing for your life. You may not view it as a positive thing, but it may be. You could begin a new relationship during this time. You could go from working a job to running a business. Could get a new business partner. You could achieve more fame, higher reputation, more comfort and happiness can come in. You could even travel. For your career, you will have to interact with more people. You will have to make deals, especially if you know that's a part of your job. There could be a significant deal that comes into play. Because now, Saturn, planet of career, is getting involved. So you may have to do some business dealing on behalf of your career, even if you're not necessarily in business. Okay. But, like I said, this will lean more positive. Especially with Saturn, the lord of the house, acting like it's there, and Jupiter aspecting. Okay. But now, let's talk about the solar eclipse taking place in Virgo. So, Virgo's your second house. And we see second house is your family, your finances, your earnings, your savings, your bank account. It's your possessions. It's what you value. It's your speech. And it's your face. So it includes your teeth, your eyes, your nose, your ears. So, with this, we see Mercury is getting involved here. Mercury is the 2nd and 11th lord in its own house. So, this is positive. Mercury's not always a part of an eclipse. So, with it being here, it is protecting its own house. So, you'll see, things can improve with your family. Your finances can improve during this time. As a matter of fact, with the 2nd and 11th lord being involved, there can be significant financial gain. Elder sibling can come to visit your family. You'll also see if you're having any issues with, say, your eyes. Maybe you need like an optic surgery or something. LASIK. If you're having dental issues, ear issues, those health issues can be resolved. They would go well during this time. Because Mercury, the 2nd lord, is in the 2nd house. But mainly this is going to concern, there we go, family and finances. For some of you, maybe speech, for me to be tripping over my words like that. Okay. If you have a speech, hopefully it goes better than mine. Alright. That's what I have for you though, Leo. Moving on to Virgo. Okay, Virgo. So, for you, there will be a lunar eclipse taking place in Aquarius, your 6th house. Well, 6th house is maternal aunts and uncles. It's your pets. It's your coworkers. It's your enemies. It's your everyday work, everyday routines. It's debt. It's competition, conflict, legal disputes. It's health issues and accidents. Now, this will be a very positive lunar eclipse, though. We see Saturn is retrograde, exerting its influence in Aquarius, the 6th house. So, 6th lord and 5th lord, because Saturn rules Aquarius and Capricorn, is acting like it's in the 6th house. This is very positive. But Saturn itself is not being eclipsed because it's not physically there. But it is protecting that house. Now, on top of this, you also have Jupiter aspecting. So Jupiter is blessing and protecting this. So this is a very positive eclipse. Now, Moon is being eclipsed though. Moon is your mind and your emotions. So, you will be emotional about this. Now, with this, what can we see? Well, if your children are having health issues, they can overcome those. Children could even make more money with this eclipse taking place. If you're having trouble having children, that could go better for you during this time. Now, of course, whether or not you will actually have children, that has to be seen in a personal reading. And a good astrologer looks at transits last. Dashas, aka planetary and sign-based time periods, are the most important. And those can only be seen in a personal reading. Okay. Now, with this though, we also see If you're involved in anything competitive tied to education, like I know in India, competitive exams are a big thing. Well, with this, that would go well for you. Especially because Saturn getting involved in Jupiter's aspect. Now, for your maternal aunts and uncles, we also see things will go well for them during this time. You could get a new pet with this eclipse. Things could change in your work for the better. You could take on a new debt. That would be good for you. Or you could overcome a debt. Pay it off. With this, we also see you will defeat your enemy. You will win the battles that you were fighting. If you have a legal dispute going on, that will go well for you. Any health issues that you've been having, you'll overcome them. Like I said, this is a very positive eclipse. And it's going to be so positive, you're going to be emotional about it. Okay. Let's talk about the solar eclipse now. So, solar eclipse will be taking place in Virgo, your first house. Well, first house is you, your physical health, your body, your overall path in life. And we see Mercury is becoming a part of this solar eclipse. Well, Mercury is your 1st and 10th lord. In the first house, protecting its own house. So, this is once again positive. Not as positive as the Aquarius eclipse, but still positive. So with this, we see there can be a big change with your personality. There can be a big change with your health. These would be for the better. There could be a big change in your career, your status, your fame, your reputation. Because the 10th Lord is also being involved here. And these would be positive. So, big thing for you, Virgo, is going to be health and career with this. Pretty much no matter what Virgo you are. Alright. That's what I have for you, though. Moving on to Libra. Alright, Libra. So, for you, Libra, the lunar eclipse is taking place in Aquarius, your 5th house. Well, 5th house is romance, fun and games, education. It's children, students, subordinates. It's creativity, arts and sports. It's politics. It's counseling. It's speculative gain through stock market, through gambling, through business. So, this is a lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipse is when the moon is being eclipsed. Moon is your mind and your emotions. So you're going to be emotional. But this is going to be a good eclipse. Saturn is retrograde, exerting its energy in the 5th house, in Aquarius, its own sign, as the 4th and 5th lord. But Saturn itself is not being eclipsed, because Saturn physically is still in Pisces. Now, on top of this, Jupiter is also aspecting this eclipse and the sign of Aquarius. So, this is a very positive eclipse. Now, with this, what are some things that we can see? Well, you could be emotional because you're having children. Maybe you find out you or your partner's pregnant. You could be emotional because your child's health is improving. There could be something significant with your education. There could be something significant with, a breakthrough in counseling. Your mother could come to visit your children, to spend time with them. There could be a lot of fun that takes place in the home and with your children, if you have children. You could begin a new romance. You could make a lot of money through speculative gains, stock market, gambling, or business. But all of these events will be positive. Also, you can earn money through real estate if you are involved in that, of course. Okay, but let's talk about the solar eclipse. So the solar eclipse will take place in Virgo. Well, Virgo is your 12th house. 12th house is bed pleasure, sex and sleep. It's spirituality. It's anywhere you feel isolated. Jails, hospitals, asylums, monasteries. It's losses of all kinds, including financial. It's investing, because when you invest money, you're temporarily losing money. It's also donations. It's foreign people, foreign places, multinational companies. It's addictions. It's fantasy. It's outer space and other worlds. Now, with this, we see Mercury is sitting here. Mercury is not always a part of an eclipse. So Mercury is important here. Mercury is the 9th and 12th lord in the 12th house, protecting its own house. So this eclipse is still positive, but it's not as positive as the one in Aquarius. Okay. Now, with this, we see you could travel during this time, definitely. Especially with Mercury, your 9th and 12th lord, in the 12th house. Definitely there could be some travel that takes place. Your father could travel even, because the 9th lord of father is involved here. You could become more spiritual during this time, or have a very spiritual experience. You could even have a sexual experience, because it is taking place in the 12th house of sex as well. If you're having health issues and you've had to go to a hospital or see a doctor, that would go well for you. Now, with this, we also see there could be something you invest in which case that would go well. You could donate during this time. You will overcome losses during this time. Those that you don't want. But for most people, this will probably involve some form of travel. Okay. That's what I have for you though, Libra. Moving on to Scorpio. Alright, Scorpio. So, for you, the lunar eclipse will be taking place in Aquarius, your 4th house. 4th house is mother figures. It's home, land, real estate. It's vehicles. It's your comfort and your happiness. And this is a lunar eclipse, so the moon is being eclipsed. Moon is your mind and your emotions. So you will be emotional with this eclipse. But this is going to be very positive because Saturn is retrograde as the 3rd and 4th lord, acting like it's in the 4th house. But Saturn isn't being eclipsed because Saturn physically is still in Pisces. But with it retrograde, its influence is going to be in Aquarius. Now, with this, we definitely see 4th lord in the 4th house. It is going to protect its own house. On top of this, Jupiter is also aspecting from the 8th house. The great benefic, blessing and protecting. So during this time, mother's health will improve. Your relationship with your mother will improve. You could get a new home. You could renovate your home. You could sell a home. You could have repairs done to your car. You could sell a car, get a new car. You will experience more comfort and happiness, especially during this lunar eclipse. So like I said, very good here. Also, younger siblings could come to visit. within the home. Or younger siblings could go visit your mother. There could be a lot of work put into the home because the third lord of effort is in the fourth house. There could be marketing and sales tied to real estate. Media could provide you comfort and happiness even. Okay, but once again, a very positive eclipse. Now, let's talk about the solar eclipse. So the solar eclipse will be taking place in Virgo, your 11th house. Well, 11th house is elder siblings. It's paternal aunts and uncles. It's your friends, your network circle, large organizations, large gatherings, parties. It's stock market and gains. It's your hopes, wishes, and desires. But 11th house is also 6th from the 6th. It's the higher form of health issues. It's the greatest enemy you will face in this life. It's also 12th from the 12th. It's the greatest loss you will face in this life. And it's also the height of spirituality. But we have Mercury sitting here. Mercury is the 8th and 11th lord in the 11th house, protecting its own house. So this is still going to be a positive eclipse, but not as positive as the one in Aquarius. So with this, we see there can be sudden gains that take place. There can be something that suddenly fulfills a wish of yours. There can be a change with your elder siblings, with your paternal aunts and uncles, with your friends. And this will be more positive. That could even mean getting them out of your life, if they're a negative part of your life. But with this, there could be a transformation of your friend group. So maybe you have frenemies. You want to get rid of them and have new friends. That could be the case as well. But once again, this is a very positive eclipse. For most people, it'll probably be tied to financial gain. But yeah. Alright. That's what I have for you though, Scorpio. Moving on to Sagittarius. Alright, Sagittarius. So, for you, the lunar eclipse is taking place in Aquarius, your 3rd house. Well, 3rd house is your younger siblings, your cousins, your neighbors. It's communication of all kinds, including writing. It's marketing and sales. It's media, social media, the internet. It's short distance travel, but it can even be foreign travel, because it's 12th from the 4th, farthest place from your homeland. It's arts and sports. It's your skills. It's a house of effort. It's 8th from the 8th. So, it is the higher form of sun ups and downs and transformation. Transformation through self-effort is the 3rd house. It's also the greatest psychological baggage you will have in this life. This is a lunar eclipse. So, lunar eclipse is when the moon's being eclipsed. Moon is your mind and your emotions. You're going to be very emotional regarding this eclipse. Now with this, Saturn is retrograde as the 2nd and 3rd lord, acting like it's in Aquarius, the 3rd house. So this is very positive. The lord is going to be protecting its own house. But Saturn isn't being eclipsed because physically it is still in Pisces. So this is a very positive influence here. Now, Jupiter is also aspecting. So Jupiter is blessing and protecting Aquarius at this time. So once again, very positive. So with this, what's something we can see here? There can be a major change with your younger siblings, with your cousins, with your neighbor even. And this would be very positive. With this, younger sibling could become more spiritual, because 2nd house is 12th from the younger sibling. We see your relationship with the younger sibling can improve, or their health could improve. We see you could travel during this time, possibly even with family. During this time, you can earn money through marketing, through sales, through communication. Maybe your communication with your boss helps you make more money. Maybe you get a raise. And of course, we see there can be a significant transformation with your career because Saturn is getting involved. Saturn is career. During this time, you can be more artistic. Maybe you win a big game, or all emotional because of a game you were playing in sports. I don't know, what is it, football season? It's about to be. Now, I think it already is. But with this, you could also travel. I think I already said that. Did already say that. You can learn new skills during this time. And those would be of a great benefit to you. Okay. But let's talk about the solar eclipse. So, the solar eclipse will be taking place in Virgo, your 10th house. Well, 10th house is career, status, fame, reputation. It's your workplace, your managers, and your bosses. It's government. It's the highest house of karma. It's your karmic actions that the world notices. So even if you're out of work or retired, 10th house still matters. And we see Mercury is involved here. Mercury isn't always a part of an eclipse, so that is very important. Mercury is your 7th and your 10th lord in the 10th house, protecting its own house. So once again, positive. Not as positive as the eclipse in Aquarius, but still positive. Okay. So, with this, we see there could be a major change in your career. Major change in your reputation for the better. There can be a change in your workplace. Maybe you have a manager that's a real pain in the ass. Maybe they transfer and you get a new manager that's a lot nicer to you. Could be something as simple as that. But this will be positive. Okay, that's what I have for you, Sagittarius. Moving on to Capricorn. Okay, Capricorn. So, there's a lunar eclipse taking place in Aquarius, your 2nd house. Well, 2nd house is family, finances, earnings, your savings, your bank account. It's your possessions. It's what you value. It's your speech. It's your face. That includes your eyes, your nose, your ears, your throat, your teeth. So, with this, Moon is being eclipsed here. Moon is your mind and your emotions, so you will be emotional. But this is going to be very positive, because Saturn is retrograde. As the 1st and 2nd lord, it's retrograde, acting like it's in Aquarius, the 2nd house. So, 2nd lord in the 2nd house. This is very positive. It's going to protect its house. But Saturn isn't being eclipsed, because physically, Saturn is still in Pisces. So, this is a very positive influence. Now, Jupiter is also aspecting from the 6th house. So Jupiter's blessing and protecting this as well. These two influences are making this very positive. Now, with this, what can happen? Well, you can be very emotional because of something good that happens for your family. Maybe you're having a new family member. You have a family member who's having a baby. Or adopting even. You can be emotional because you're making more money. Especially because Saturn is getting involved. Saturn is the planet of career. Doesn't matter that it's not ruling houses of career. Saturn's still getting involved. So, career could undergo some kind of significant change. You can make more money. That could definitely have you more emotional. Maybe you're getting new possessions. Maybe you have to make a very emotional speech. Maybe you're having dental work done. I don't know. But, once again, this will be very positive. Okay. Now let's talk about the solar eclipse. So, solar eclipse will be in Virgo, your 9th house. So, 9th house is your father figures. It's your mentor, teachers, gurus. It's religion, philosophy, the law. It's long distance travel, it's pilgrimage, it's publishing. It's higher education beyond a bachelor's degree and outside of typical schooling. 9th house is also a house of counseling. It's your ancestral lineage, not just fathers, but also mothers. And it's your luck and your fortune. So with this, we see Mercury is involved here. Mercury is not always a part of the eclipse. Mercury is your 6th and 9th lord in the 9th house, protecting its own house. So this is going to be positive. Not as positive as the eclipse in Aquarius, though. But we see there can be major change with your father. Father's health could improve. Your relationship with your father could improve. This would be very good for education during this time. You could travel. You could become more religious. More philosophical. You could publish something during this time. There could be more luck that comes into your life during the solar eclipse. Also, things can go very well for your family in general, because once again, this is your ancestral lineage. Okay, that's what I have for you though, Capricorn. Moving on to Aquarius. Alright, Aquarius. So, there will be a lunar eclipse taking place in your 1st house. Well, 1st house is you. Your physical body. Your overall path in life. Your personality. And the moon is being eclipsed. Moon is your mind and your emotions. So you will be emotional regarding this. And we see Saturn is retrograde. As the 1st and 12th lord. Retrograding. Exerting its energy in the sign of Aquarius, the 1st house. So, Saturn's not being eclipsed, but it is acting like it's the 1st lord in the 1st house, protecting it. So this is a very positive influence. And then Jupiter is aspecting from the 5th house. Blessing and protecting the sign of Aquarius. So this is going to be a very positive eclipse. Now with this, what can we see? Well, there can be a major change in your personality, in your health, in your overall path in life, what you want to do in life. And these would be positive. You could become more spiritual during this time, because now the 12th lord is in the 1st house. But this will be, once again, very positive. But it's very simple. When an eclipse happens in the 1st house, it just shows big changes in your life and in you. Okay. But let's talk about the solar eclipse. So, solar eclipse will be taking place in Virgo, your 8th house. Well, 8th house is your in-laws. It's joint finances and relationships and in business. It's sex. It's death. It's taxes, wills, inheritance, estates, legacies. It's other people's money. It's surgery. It's psychological baggage. It's the occult. It's ups and downs and transformation. And we see Mercury is here. Mercury isn't always a part of an eclipse. And Mercury is your 5th and 8th lord. It is in the 8th house. So this protects the house. So this is going to be positive, but not as positive as the eclipse in Aquarius. So with this, what do we see? Well, there could be major changes with your in-laws. Maybe your relationship with them improves. Joint finances can grow during this time. Maybe you find out some good tax breaks you can get. You can learn some occult knowledge. Also, 8th house is research. There could be a breakthrough in your research. You could get a surgery that would really benefit you. You could have a sexual experience even. You could receive an inheritance. Or there could just be a sudden change for the better. Okay. But that's what I have for you, Aquarius. Moving on to Pisces. Alright, Pisces. So, for you, Pisces, there will be a lunar eclipse taking place in Aquarius, your 12th house. Well, 12th house is bed pleasure, sex and sleep. It's spirituality. It's anywhere you feel isolated. Jails, hospitals, asylums, monasteries. It's losses of all kinds, including financial. It's investing, because when you invest money, you're temporarily losing money. It's donating. It's foreign people, foreign places. It's multinational companies. It's addictions, it's fantasy. It's outer space and other worlds. Now, this is a lunar eclipse, so the moon is being eclipsed. Moon is your mind and your emotions. You will be emotional, tied to this 12th house. Now, this is going to be mostly positive though, because Saturn is retrograde, acting like it's in Aquarius. But Saturn's not being eclipsed. So, Saturn is your 12th and 11th lord in the 12th house. The reason this is positive is because the Lord is acting like it's in its own house, protecting it. Now, Jupiter is also aspecting from the 4th house. Jupiter blesses and protects whatever it looks at. So, you see, Jupiter is also helping this. So this will be a positive eclipse. So during this time, what can we see? Well, you could have a sexual experience during this lunar eclipse. You could have a spiritual experience. Maybe you're finally being released from prison. I don't know. You could be traveling to a foreign country. You could be investing or gaining through an investment, because the 11th Lord of Gain is getting involved. You could be traveling with an elder sibling or with a friend. You could be overcoming an addiction. You could be overcoming losses. But once again, all of this will be positive. Now, let's talk about the solar eclipse. So, solar eclipse will be taking place in Virgo, your 7th house. Well, 7th house is relationships, marriage, business partnership. It's the masses, all of the people you meet out in the world. It's 4th from the 4th, higher form of your comfort and happiness. It's 10th from the 10th, higher form of your career, your status, your fame. It's the highest house of karma, because 10th from the 10th, higher even than the 10th. This is why some people find marriage so heavy, so difficult. And it's also furthest house away from where you were born. So it also represents foreign lands. So, with this, Mercury is involved. Mercury's not always a part of the eclipse. Of an eclipse. There we go. Mercury is your 4th and 7th lord. So, Mercury being the 7th lord in the 7th house, it's going to protect that house. So this is going to be positive. Not as positive as the eclipse in Aquarius, but it's still positive. So with this, what do we see? Well, you could begin a relationship. If you're already in a relationship, maybe you get engaged, move in together, get married. Maybe you get a divorce even. And that would be positive. Maybe you don't want to be with that person anymore. Maybe they haven't been a positive influence in your life. You could begin a business. Or annul a business partnership. Or get a new business partner. Get a new business partner. There we go. Your fame, your reputation could increase. Could interact with a lot of people during this time. Could experience more comfort and happiness. You could travel to a far-off foreign place. Especially with the lunar eclipse taking place in Aquarius, your 12th house. But once again, this will be a very positive eclipse. Also, we see 4th lord is involved. So maybe mother is moving to a new home. Or getting a home, getting a car. That could also be there. This could show you moving even. Or getting a new home, getting a new car. Because the 4th lord is 4 places away. So his second home or second car can be seen with this as well. Okay. That's what I have for you, Pisces. Alright. That's what I have for all of you, though. Hopefully you've liked this video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out me in the channel. To be notified whenever I release a new video, be sure to hit the bell icon and select all. And if you'd like a Vedic Sidereal birth chart, a personal tarot reading, or an astrology consultation, links to those will be in the description box and the comments below. And if you'd like to donate to help support the channel, links to those will be in the description box as well. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.